Got Mama with me today, y'all. We live. We live. It's Sunday. Happy Sunday, TGI Sunday.
Thank God.
YouTube.
Yeah.
Hopefully your day has been going well, but I want to welcome you back to a Sunday. We are going live today for episode 7 of 76 Lessons, Healing with Mama. Woo, it's been a ride.
It's been a ride, but I thank God my daughter is helping me heal.
It has
along
been
with
a
all
ride.
of y'all out there.
Yes, the people have been showing up for you, Mama. They are coming and wishing you well. The prayers are working.
They are working. They are truly
The
working.
prayers are working. So we are so grateful for that. Thank you for everything. Thank you for watching the videos. The videos are helping us to reach our goals because you need a car.
I need a car.
She needs a car.
I need a car.
You got abandoned with everything but a car.
Yes.
He took the car. What is it like not having a car?
Well, when you're used to having a car for 50 of my 70 years,
50?
I've never been without a car. So it's really a strange feeling because you don't have a ride to work, you don't have a ride to the grocery store, you don't have a ride to go get some fast food when you get tired of cooking at home. You don't have a ride to go get my hair did. I don't have a ride to go to my doctor's appointments. I don't have a ride to pick up my prescriptions. And y'all know what it's like when you got a ride, even to just go visit somebody, to go to church. I have to depend on everybody right now for a ride.
Jesus, be a car.
Yeah, Jesus, be the wheel. Jesus, take the wheel.
Jesus, be the wheel.
Jesus,
don't take the wheel, be the wheel.
Be the wheel.
Well, I just want to remind you we're live, and sometimes when she get excited, she might start busting out some words that can't be said. So please be mindful, because she will bust out some words. She did. Oops, we live.
Oh Lord,
you don't want to get us kicked off the air.
All right, Lord, guide my tongue while I run this tape.
Hey! But yeah, having a car is absolutely no fun. I know how you feel.
Yeah.
But I also know that God is working out something.
Of course,
right
I
now.
trust Him and always for that.
And all the videos they watch, it goes towards, the video being monetized and things like that. So watch the videos. Like them, love them, share them, and you are helping her to reach that goal.
Yes.
Getting her back independent fully.
Yeah.
They said peace and blessings. Thank you guys. Let us know where you're watching from, how you doing.
Yeah.
Let us know if you've been keeping up with the episodes. We are on episode 7 today. So we have done 6 episodes up to this point, taking you through the journey of what we're even talking about. You got to go back and watch it. We've been talking about her life, her education, her family, and motherhood. And I want to talk a little bit more about motherhood today. Okay. I want to talk about motherhood because she is my mother. And Mother's Day is every day. You know, I know we just celebrated Mother's Day as a country a few weeks ago, but every day is Mother's Day.
Those of us who are mothers, I know that we live it every day.
Yes.
Even once our kids get grown, we are still mothers.
Yes. So let's do a little warm up before we do that, right? So I'm just going to ask you some fun questions and you let me know this or that.
Okay.
Do you prefer the sunrise or the sunset?
I prefer the sunrise.
Why?
Because God woke me up this morning, started me on my way.
Do you see the sunrise every morning?
No, I don't see it. But
prefer it.
my eyes open so I know the sun has risen.
Okay. But the beauty, sunrise.
The beauty of the sunrise
I prefer. Okay.
Yes.
Heels or barefoot?
Barefoot.
Why?
Well, back in the day it used to be heels, stilettos and everything else.
Wow.
But now I just like being barefoot.
Me too.
And walking around the house barefoot. I would walk outside barefoot if I could.
Okay.
But yeah, barefoot is the way to go.
Okay.
Well, not bare, but with some footies on.
So not barefoot.
not barefoot.
But flat foot.
The flat foot.
I said barefoot. Barefoot.
Barefoot, nah.
Not really.
No.
But not heels either.
But not heels.
Okay.
Little wedgies.
Okay. Do you remember your first kiss?
No, I don't remember my first kiss.
Zach, so I can't ask you, was it romantic or a disaster?
It probably was. My first one probably was.
It must have been a disaster.
It'd have to have been I don't know. I don't remember.
You don't remember?
I don't remember.
Well, I guess the memory is something else.
Yeah, I don't remember.
Okay, what's the best advice you ever got from a stranger?
Look both ways before you cross the street. It's so dangerous out here in this traffic.
Wow.
And sometimes, especially in the city, cars are zipping back and forth and you running across the street not looking where you're going.
A stranger told you
that?
that?
Yeah, a stranger told me that one time. Look
Wow.
both ways before you cross the street.
Was you was a little girl when
I
they
was a
told you
little
that?
girl then.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I was a little girl.
Like,
The
a
best
strange.
advice as an adult has gave me is to just leave the past in your behind and look forward.
Okay. Okay. All right. What's a quote you live by now? Like, what's something that sticks with you that you live by today?
A quote that sticks by me, one of my mama's favorites,
Which
just
is?
keep on living.
Okay.
And when things in life goes by, things happen, good or bad, you can't say, this is not going to happen to me. The best thing you can do is just keep on living because something's going to happen, good or bad, either way.
Okay.
Yeah,
Keep on living.
keep on living.
Okay. Well, tell us about your children. How many you got, and when did you have them?
Okay, I've had 4 children. I had 2, and 8 years later I had 2 more. So the first one I had was at age 20.
Okay.
And her name is Vicky. That's my number 1 daughter. And then, what do you call the birthday?
When did you have her?
I
You
had
were
her in
20,
I
but
was 20.
when were you 20?
I don't know. 48, 56. What year was she born? 68?
1968?
Yeah, 68, I think.
Okay.
I don't remember. But I was 20.
So that's what's going to happen when I get 77. I ain't going to be able to
Yeah,
remember
she
when
was
my
born
kids
in
was born?
Yeah, that's going to happen too.
What?
Yeah.
I'm going to forget my kids' birthdays and when they
You
was
might
born?
not. You different from me.
Do you
so.
know their birthday?
I
You know her birthday?
birthdays, yeah.
Okay, what's her birthday?
June 28th.
June 28th. Okay.
And my second child was born June 14th. And
Okay.
that's Jeffrey.
Okay.
8 years later, I had you in 1975. What year were you?
1976.
I was 76. And then the second one, and then your baby brother, he was born a year after that.
Okay.
77.
So you had 2 kids back to back,
Yeah, I had a girl and a boy.
but back to back,
Back to
like
back.
1 year,
Yeah, back to back. And then
8 years, and
I
then
had
2
you-
more
yeah,
back to back.
Back to back, yeah.
Wow. So when you get to having kids, you start having
You
them.
know, like my mama.
Goodness gracious.
Yeah, that's why I stopped with the 2.
Okay.
The first 2 I had, I was on birth control for 8 years. I'm like, I'm
Okay.
not having no more kids.
Oh gosh, you
But
didn't
then,
even want me.
No, I didn't want a baby. I just
Yeah.
said, but I wanted you when I
Yeah,
got
yeah, I
pregnant.
know. I just said,
Ain't
like,
funny.
but you said you wasn't
I
having
wasn't having no more.
kids.
I wasn't.
You was
8
done at
years.
2.
I was done, but I was done after 2 of y'all too.
Okay.
After you 2 were born, I got my tube side.
Okay. Okay.
I'm making sure, no more. That's
So
it.
you had 4 kids,
Yeah.
and what was it like raising us?
You know, it's such a long time back to think, but I know that it was a struggle, being I wasn't a teenage mom, but 20 is not grown,
Yeah.
and being a first-time mom, so it was a struggle trying to get used to having a baby and
Okay.
trying to get my education and stay in school.
Yeah.
But most of the time it was, if I can remember, it was not hard.
Okay.
I remember going through the diapers and the feedings and all that stuff, so
Did you like being a mom?
I like being a mom.
Yeah.
There was not one moment that I regretted it.
Okay.
And saying, man, I really messed up.
Okay.
But then I had a strong family support with
Okay.
my mom and other family members. So that made it much more easier.
Yeah, I remember being in my auntie's house a lot.
Auntie Viola
And Jean.
and Jean, yeah, that's
Mhm.
right, yeah.
It's a lot of family.
Well, our mom, she had 9 kids, so, and then with her sisters and brothers, so we were all raised as, our cousins were like sisters and brothers.
Okay.
So we've always had a close family ties.
Okay.
Yeah.
What's the funniest memory of raising kids with no money, though?
Funniest kid, raising
Like,
kids with
I
no
don't know
money?
what's funny
I
about
don't
raising
I
kids
don't
with
know
no
about
money,
nothing
but
funny about raising.
like, what is the memory that made you feel like, man, I gotta get some money because it's hard raising kids with no money. Any situation stick out?
There was never a situation where I was like, I don't have any money. I don't know how I'm gonna make it.
Okay.
By God's grace and mercy,
Mhm.
I was able to make it. I can't remember struggling or wondering where I was gonna get my next meal from, or how I was gonna feed you all, or anything like that.
That's odd because
Mhm.
I had kids and I remember every moment where I couldn't even know how we was gonna eat.
Yeah, well,
That
I don't remember.
Dang.
Yeah, because I always was able to feed you all. Yeah, like I said, even if
I mean, not that you couldn't feed us or God didn't make a way, but you don't remember ever struggling.
I don't
Or
remember.
you don't remember?
I don't remember the struggle. I just
Okay.
remember making it happen. Just one day at a time.
Yeah.
So each one day at a time it happened. So.
Yeah, I remember making it happen one day at a time, but I remember wondering like, oh, today about to be hard.
No, I don't remember that. I
Mm.
don't at all.
Wow.
I'm sorry. I'm not sorry, but she's a different generation.
Yeah.
So it probably seemed harder for her than it did for us because, like I said, we had such a family support system
Okay.
back in the day. So if y'all were hungry, the family helped feed you.
Okay.
So I can't remember a struggle with it.
Well, you know, we ate a lot at the
And
community
then,
center.
yeah, and because I was active in the community, y'all did a lot of the free breakfast programs, the evening meal programs.
Mhm.
So y'all did eat,
Okay.
even in those times.
So was there ever a moment you wanted to give up, but you didn't give up?
There was never a moment where I wanted to give up. I've always kept my head to the sky. I've always kept a positive outlook on life. And if there were any struggles, I've got past them, you know, and made sure that they didn't happen again.
Okay.
So even if I have to think about even any struggles I had, I was so busy out there working in the community that you didn't have time to look at your own personal struggles because that became your life.
Okay.
You know, doing the work in the community, working to help everybody else, that helped me. So it wasn't just like work, it was like meaningful play.
Okay.
So when I'm out there helping people in the community, I'm in turn helping myself.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
That's odd. I'm learning this woman ain't got no problem.
Yeah.
She just
You know, but God, you know, but the funny thing about it, back in the day, we all was raised in church. I mean, we got baptized early. We was in all the church programs. We did Easter speeches and other day speeches, Christmas speeches, Thanksgiving speeches, choir. Everything was as a community in church. Church is not a community like it used to be.
Okay.
So you learn from early on to depend on God for everything.
Okay.
So even in the good times and the bad times, there's always but God.
Well, you know, that to me, that's how I feel like, you know, the mental health thing kicks in. Because it's like, we didn't get, you know, like being raised like that, you don't get to validate, not even validate, but experience like how you actually feel.
Right.
Like you got to be able to process your feelings. Yes, but God, and yes, God is going to do it.
Yeah,
but
that's it. Yeah.
But it's like you got feelings. You're still a human being, and you got to be able to feel what you feel.
Yeah, I do. I feel it, but I'd be saying, God, take it. It's yours.
So that's what I'm asking. I'm asking about the stuff you actually felt. Not that God didn't do it,
Yeah.
but like.
I can't remember the stuff. I don't remember what I actually felt because it was just day by day processing each day individually, not looking back, not looking forward, but living in that moment. Because what happens today determines what's going to happen tomorrow. And me in the past, I have a hard time remembering the past because I have a thing about the past that is behind me. You don't need to looking back that way no more. So a lot of past things I don't remember because it happened.
Yeah.
And it's a done deal.
I think sometimes to us kids though, we be like, "Dang, you don't remember." It's like almost like you're not present.
Yeah.
It's almost like you're not present because you don't remember stuff.
I was present.
I mean, but to us, it's like she don't remember. Like you don't feel like you was there.
No, I was there.
Just God.
I was there. It's just that the memories, once they happen, I put them aside, and it's hard for me to remember back a whole lot of stuff. Unfortunately, I don't. When it comes to the past, my childhood, raising y'all, all that stuff, the memories are way gone.
Yeah. Yeah, so what's something that you regret not teaching us? Like, is there any lessons that you wish you would have taught us at all?
Let me see. I wished I had taught, which I should have been, is to be more independent in terms of just living every day and not depending on people all the time. Because what I know is as I was growing up, I was dependent on family. So when I got in a hard place, I would depend on family instead of trying to work it out for myself.
Okay.
So what I would wish for you all today, even now, is that whatever issues come, that you face them head on and deal with them, and don't try to pass them on to nobody else. Because you're the one that has to experience it, and you're the one who really has to solve it with the help of somebody else, and making sure that you're the primary reason that you're dealing with the situation.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So what was it like raising me?
I
bet you remember that. Lord,
Now, Lord,
have mercy.
Marie Bustin.
I bet you she not. I bet y'all she not finna say. I don't remember.
Oh.
I bet she got plenty to say about this one. Watch this.
Okay.
What was it like raising Marie BustinMoves?
Well, let me see. Now, after 8 years of not having any kids, Marie BustinMoves was born.
I'm waiting on you to forget about that.
I cannot forget about that.
Oh, no.
It's like having...
What happened to the past being behind it?
Well, it's still behind it because the BustinMoves was strong back then as they are now.
Okay, go ahead.
But,
tell the people what it was like raising me.
It was... You were spoiled rotten.
Okay.
Because you were the first kid I'd had in 8 years, but you also your dad's first girl.
Okay.
You know, he had a lot of boys in the previous relationship, but you was his first girl. So you were spoiled, totally rotten. And as time went along, you got even more rotten. As you became older, you got everything you wanted, every Cabbage Patch doll. Look at me, I do have memories of this one right here. Every Cabbage Patch doll that was out there, she had. Every article of clothing out there she had.
No, I remember not getting some of them clothes.
Yeah, you don't remember all them. You got every shoe and everything else. And then and she was just totally spoiled, not just by her dad, myself, but all her older brothers and sisters. And then as she got into her teenage years, she was even more spoiled because you're talking about her different hairstyles. She had to have her hair done every week. Every week she was in a beauty salon getting that hair did. Talking about her pixie cuts and all this stuff. She got that honestly. She loved her getting her hair done every week. But as a student in school, she was very smart. Very, what I want to say, very engaging. She was like a leader of all her little girlfriends. They had little dance troupes and dance clubs and stuff going on. I also remember one time when she got shot as a teenager.
What was that like?
That was very scary because you were out with your friends around the corner, came back home, and you had been shot in your leg by some woman that was mad at her husband.
Dang.
And you wound up with the bullet staying in your leg. And eventually the bullet moved and exited out. But the thing I remember about that is you forgave the lady. You didn't, and that was something you wanted to do. That was not something we wanted to do, like persecute her. She shot our daughter, but you were like, you understood what she was going through, and you were the one wanted us to forgive her for that.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I didn't know
but
that.
I remember you and your neighborhood girls, y'all did dance moves. You were dancing even back then.
Okay.
So, and then the other thing was she was selfish, so she was kind of mouthy.
I had a smart mouth.
She had a terrible mouth. I wanted to kill her sometimes, but I didn't. I'm glad I didn't. And to tell y'all the truth, she was the main child that I thought I had. Wouldn't give me the time of day when I got old. Would probably throw me in a nursing home and lock the door and throw away the key.
Dang.
But look at her right now. She's my biggest supporter.
Dang.
But yeah, back in the day, Marie, I swear.
So how did I end up having a baby as a teenager?
Well, that's one of the things your dad always told me. Watch out for that boy right there. But you know, I'm so naive, I wasn't watching out. So you got pregnant.
Okay.
And so he was like, I told you so. But you know, I was not savvy enough to watch out for that kind of stuff.
Okay.
So you had a baby as a teenager. You were a good mother.
Okay.
And you did everything you were supposed to do. So it wasn't like I had to be that doting, babysitting grandma that had to take all the responsibility of a teenage girl's baby. You were a good mother.
Okay. All right, and then I grew up.
And then you grew up. And from there, I don't remember a whole lot about you growing up. That's a whole nother
That's when your
story.
mind goes
That's
blank.
why my mind goes blank. That you were out of my control at that time.
Okay.
You was in your own life and handling it very well. You know, it wasn't like you were depending on me. I had to financially support you.
Yeah.
You know how your kids get out there. Once you got out there, you never came back. In fact, all of my children, once they left, they never came back home. Once they had their kids, they took care of their kids. It wasn't like, Mom, I need you to do this. Mom, I need you to do this. Or I'm a neglectful parent. All of you all took care of your kids.
Well, you know, you was a good mom.
Yeah,
You gave us everything we needed, and I don't remember being hungry or anything like that, or struggling for anything. I got everything I wanted, and but the older kids will tell a different story.
Of course, because
the ones you had 8 years before me,
it's different. Of course,
they got a whole.
Because we were young, I was young then too, so it's a different time.
They said we didn't get the same.
You learn as you grow older. So that 8-year difference between you and them, I learned a whole lot more. I grew a whole lot more. I became more disciplined in life and things that I know about. So no, their life wasn't as spoiled as y'all life was, but they definitely did miss a meal.
Yeah. Well, I know in previous episodes you talked about how, life, the struggles you had as a young lady, and how your self-esteem was crushed and life was hard for you. But if you did believe in yourself back then and believe that you deserve to be happy and have anything, would you have done anything different with your life? Would you had moved a little different as far as your friendships, relationships, people outside?
That's pretty hard to speculate on, because things that you do in life in the past, determines what happens today. So if I had made a left turn one time, my life probably would have been a whole different direction. If I had crossed the street at the corner instead of jaywalking, my life would have gone a different direction. So I don't know if I could say what I would have done different that would make it better today. I can't regret anything that happened. Everything happens for a reason. There's a purpose for everything. So no, I don't see nothing that I could change. Would I make a left turn or a right turn? You can't, because it's already happened. It's kind of hard to go back and change.
Man, when I think about stuff I could have did different, I think of a million things. I just don't.
I can't think of anything I would have done different at all.
Wow.
Because all of it was all part of my growing up process.
This is how I learned we are so different. I guess it's the generation.
Yeah, it probably is the generation. Because back in the day, we were raised to be independent, strong, take charge.
It sounds like y'all was raised to do what I say.
Yeah, definitely.
And don't think for yourself.
Yeah, they definitely was. Do what when kids speak, you go in the other room. There's a place for everything. Everything was not do as I do, but do as I say.
Yeah.
Exactly.
It's like, it seemed like you just had to take stuff. And
you really did back in the day. The discipline and the values were so different back in the day.
That's why I'll be thinking of a million things I could do different.
Yeah.
But you did good with what you had.
You had to do good.
And I love that. I love that, because I pray to God I can make it to 77 and still have my mind and my strength. You still got it going on.
Oh my God.
You raised your kids. You still living.
And my grandkids call me hip hop granny.
She's still vibrant and just, man, she's still here for us. And that is a blessing.
Yes, it's truly a blessing to still be here. Because your sister now is in the hospital.
Yes.
Fighting pneumonia and on the breathing machine. But through it all, we pray and we be supported.
Yeah.
And know that she's going to bring it through. It's kind of hard as a mom when your daughter's in the hospital sick and you want to be there, but what can you do? She's in the hospital. She's being taken care of. It's more important that I be there once she gets out the hospital, where she can meet the support that she needs.
Yeah.
But being a mom, you're always going to have that care and concern for your children. I don't care how old they get.
Yeah. Yeah.
Talk about problem children now. Your baby brother,
okay,
and he was the problem
child. Why you remember
child.
us too?
Because them last two were more formative in my year, because I'm more older.
So you had a daughter that had kids as a teenager and was cutting up in smart mouth. That's me.
Yeah. Then I had a son, your baby
When
brother.
did I stop having a smart mouth? When did I stop being that problem daughter, or not problem, but annoying daughter?
I don't know when it was, but hallelujah. Thank God, because I was going to bury. They said, I'll bring you in this world, I'll take you out. I wanted to take you out.
Oh, she wanted to put me 6 feet
put
under
out of her misery.
She wanted to take me out.
Putting me through my misery.
Oh my God. Can y'all believe I was that type of person?
She was busting moods, moods. She was busting plenty of my moods back as a teenager. But yeah,
I think one of the most frustrating things was what you're saying to me now. I feel it all coming back. Don't worry about it.
Yeah.
Get over it.
Yeah.
Put the past. No, I feel like this right now. I feel it. You cannot tell me that I should just forget this. And she just always had this positive outlet. Everything wasn't always positive.
No, it wasn't positive, but it was meaningful. Everything is not positive. Everything is not negative, but there's always a meaning to everything that happens. So.
Oh, back then that didn't make no sense to me. It was very frustrating.
Yeah.
And it was like she's not listening. She don't want me to
I'm not
feel
gonna
how I'm
worried,
feeling.
you know?
And that used to make me so mad.
And
so then I used to fuss.
Yep, fuss terribly.
And then
that's all right.
And but I thank God that He changed my heart and reminded me that this is my mother and that I have life because of her and that she is somebody very special to Him and that I cannot act like that. And that I'm gonna have kids like that one day, and I don't want that. So like, just get it together, girl.
She got it together.
So I got it together.
She raised her kids more different than I raised her. She's what I want to say, a stern mother. Talking about do as I say, not as I do.
No, I was accountable. I was accountability.
She got her older kids more accountable than I did my last two. Because the baby brother, when you have a problem child, the last child was my problem child.
Okay.
But it took him till he got about 27 years old until he turned his life around, and now he's one of my, one of my, what do you want to say, prized children that do what he's supposed to do.
Well, that's the love of a mother. She never gave up on him.
No, I never did.
She never. God. She might have wanted to kill us, but she never gave up.
Yeah, I didn't kill him.
She did not kill us. She loved us to life.
Revenge is mine, said the Lord.
she has loved us to life, and now we are thriving.
And they are loving me to life.
And now we love her to life.
Yeah, making sure everything is okay. Everybody say, well, what's your relationship with your children and grandchildren? They make sure I'm okay. I don't have to do anything for them. I'm not financially, they're not financially dependent on me. I ain't have to help pay no rent. I ain't have to buy no groceries. None of that kind of stuff. You all have been stellar parents.
Oh, thank you.
And my grandkids and I got 8 great grandkids.
You just babysat your great
I know.
Great
First time in probably 50 million years.
But still, like
it wasn't but an hour.
Great grandkids.
Yeah, great grandkids. So that was the first.
That's beautiful. I pray to God I get to babysit my great grandkids.
Yeah, I finally got to babysit one for a few hours. That was a lot of work, though.
A few hours.
You did a few hours, but keep you busy. A 4-year-old, whoo, it's like nonstop stereo rock.
Well, let's talk about some of your triumphs and your joy and unexpected wins. What was one thing that you could think of that you're proud of that no one really knows about you? Like that I didn't know that you might have been so proud of yourself.
Wow. You know, when I first got my driver's license, I was so proud.
Really?
Yeah, because I remember it was a hot, and then it's in Milwaukee. But it was a hot, steamy, humid day outside, and I went to take my driver's test, and I was nervous as heck, and I did everything good, and it came to parallel parking. I did that parallel parking like a champ. And the tester was like, wow, you just parallel this park like you know what you're doing. And I come out of there with my driver's license that day. I was so proud of myself. I was so very proud. And then the second thing, I don't know if you even knew, when I got my master's degree.
In organizational development?
Organizational management and development. For the graduation class, I was a keynote speaker.
Oh, I didn't know that.
My grade point was 4 points. I always had 4 points. But they choose me to do the graduation commencement address. I was so proud.
That is something to be proud of.
Yes.
That is something to be proud of. Congratulations.
Yes.
Congratulations. You ever lost your license?
Never lost my license. Never had a speeding ticket. Never had an accident.
You ever been to jail?
Let me tell you about my Black Panther Party days. You know, so the FBI keeps a file on you. Things that you might have done, because we seen them where they black out a lot of the stuff in your file, but we did read it. Your dad was high up in the Black Panther Party. So one day, I was dropping him off and the police pulled up behind us. I said, they finna take him to jail. They come out and told me,
they took you to jail.
You under arrest.
What was you under arrest for?
A parking ticket that I had from 20 years ago.
So you never got a speeding ticket,
so
but you got
I got a parking ticket from 15, 20 years ago.
Oh my God.
And I got in back of the wagon, I was crying.
I know, because who wants to go to jail?
Yeah, but I wasn't in there long. They dismissed it and let me go.
Okay. Woo,
but that's the only time.
You had to put on one of them orange jumpsuits?
No, I was only in there 20. I wasn't even there.
Jail is not for everybody, and I know it ain't for me. Lord
yeah, so
Jesus.
I have been arrested one time.
Okay. Okay, what's the time that you surprised yourself? Like, oh, I didn't know this was possible for me. Like, oh, I could do this?
Oh yeah, when I walked off my job to join the Black Panther Party.
Okay.
That was the most pivotal turn in my life.
Yeah.
Being an executive secretary and then getting a phone call to say, like Jesus told the disciples, you want to take up your nets and follow me?
Yeah.
The Black Panther Party said, you want to get rid of this life you're in right now and follow us?
That's what you did.
That's what I did, and that surprised me.
That was your...
Because that was my dream job, was to be this executive secretary, traveling all over the world, taking notes with my boss. And when the call came for me to come and join the party and work for the people, I chose Black Power.
Okay.
And my life has never been the same since.
Okay, so would you say that was the moment you first felt free?
That's the moment I first felt free. It sure did.
And released you of all your past.
It released me of my past and everything. Because what it did was, it gave me meaning in life to be able to do stuff for people. And then not just the Black Panther Party, we wound up forming a neighborhood crime prevention program, the African World Festival, all those events and things that I've been involved in. 2 radio talk shows that I've done. Yes. I did those 2 radio talk shows for 20 years. So those were live call-in programs where we bring in different guests from the community and we would just help people solve their problems. Yeah. I did that for 20 years.
Yeah. Okay. If you could relive one of the best days of your life, which one would it be?
Let me think. If I could relive one of the best days of my life, what would it be? If I could relive one of the best days of my life, what would it be? What about the best 4 days of my life?
Okay.
Reliving the birth of my 4 children.
Okay, that's a classic answer. Yay! Yes, we get to be born again.
We get to be born again.
She loves us that much. She would have us again.
Yeah, I would have y'all again. That's the most meaningful things that have happened.
Okay.
That I would like to do.
Okay. And what about what's the best advice you ever gave somebody?
The best advice I ever gave somebody?
Or one of the best advices. I'm pretty sure you gave out a lot.
I'm always
because you said you were solving people's problems.
Radio talk shows and everything.
So what's
the best advice I've ever given anybody is, let me think very hard on this because I have been giving out so many good advice. And what would be the best one I would give somebody? Oh, I know what it is that always be yourself. Because my favorite point is leave me alone.
Yes.
Because people are always trying to tell you how to live, what to do. This, do it this way, not this way. I'd be like, leave me alone. So the best thing to do is just live your life that way you know it. You can take advice from people, but you're the one that's got to live this life. And so you do what you know that's best for you. Yeah.
Okay, that's good. I'm going to take that advice.
Yeah, but I always tell people, leave me alone.
You sure do, even to this day.
Yeah.
I think you just told me that the other day. Leave me alone.
I know what I'm doing.
I know what I'm doing. Marie, could you... I know what I'm doing, but Marie, could you? Well, let's see what the people have got to say. Thank y'all for tuning in. You two are so beautiful and inspiring. I love your relationship. Thank you. Look like the Black Spice Girls. Okay. Blessed to have her. I lost my mom and dad, and I'm strong in the Lord. God bless you.
Yes, please.
Oh, what a time. I know you miss them so much, but I pray that God continues to comfort you.
Yes.
And it is a true blessing at your age to have your mother. And my mother passed when she was 5. That's why I enjoy your videos with your mom and daughters. It's just a good feeling. Thank you so much. I love that you watch us, and I love that we can give you some joy, when you think about your beloveds.
Yes, and it's so important. I'd like the support that you all give to the both of us. Because what we're trying to do is to help y'all like we're helping ourselves.
Yep. If y'all have any questions, let me know. Thank you, Denise. Also, somebody said, my daddy always said, I brought you in this world, I take you out. Lord Jesus, that was, oh my God.
Yeah, that was the classic saying. When you get disrespectful around your parents.
Listen.
I brought you in this world, I will take you out.
Listen, y'all made us very smart. And we have grown up to change things, to do things a lot different than y'all did. Not to say that it was all bad.
No.
But I'm sure that our kids are going to change some things. Y'all change things that your parents did.
Everything's generation to generation.
And we going to change things, and it's going to keep changing. But to be grateful for what you have and what you did come up with is good.
Yeah.
So I'm very grateful. I'm very grateful, for it all.
Yeah, and you talk about missing moms. I miss our mom, our mom.
Yeah, I
too.
definitely miss grandma.
She definitely was headstrong.
Yes.
And made sure that family values and that we all stuck together no matter what.
Yeah. And then when she left, we didn't stick together.
Yeah, of course not.
We start going apart.
Yeah.
Why is it that when that one person leaves, I hold it all together, the family just start dissipating?
Yeah, they just drifted apart. There's always the one house you always went to. There was always that one family you could always go to their house and spend time. And then once they leave, everybody else just you don't have family reunions like you used to. That kind of stuff. That is all things.
Because somebody has to take the responsibility to do it.
Yeah.
And it's a lot of work. That's a lot of work.
Yeah.
I do not volunteer myself for that job. I love my family. I take time to go see them, but I can't organize the whole family. But I will go see everybody.
You go to something they organize.
But it has to be, or even just going to visit.
Yeah.
Like, no rhyme or reason. Just, I'm thinking about you. I'm in town. I'm coming to see you. That's me. I'm the family that's going to come check up on you. I'm going to take a trip and I'm going to come see you.
Yeah.
But as far as like organizing the family events and all that, I'm not the one for that. I wasn't called to that.
Too much drama.
I wasn't called to that, but to those who can and do, I appreciate it.
Yeah, admire you too. Admire you for it.
Yeah, because and then too, the family has to be able to listen. Like, it's always that one person that the whole family likes. Because if you don't get along with everybody, you can't organize everybody.
That's true.
Because everybody not gonna listen. So it's like it's got to be that one person that everybody loves. That one cousin, that one auntie that everybody get along with.
Yeah.
That everybody get along with. They never had no drama. I be having drama with people in the family. So everybody don't listen to me. So I'm not the one. I'm not the one. But I will show up. I show up for family stuff. I go visit and all of that. So, hey, everybody. Somebody said, you was spoiled. Who is that? The Elder's Corner? That must be Jeffrey. That must be my big brother in the chat. Remember how spoiled I was.
Yeah, he probably do remember.
It's not my fault. I was a child. I can't help what they did to me. Because I'm telling you, if we could rewind hands of time, I would have said, y'all don't do that to me.
No.
Because the amount of unlearning I had to do, child, the unspoiling of it all is crazy.
Don't look like, but it paid off. Look where you are now.
It did.
Yeah.
Absolutely. But yeah, guys, that's our episode 7. Hopefully you learned some more things about my wonderful mom as she has been healing at 76. These has been an interesting, what's been 6 weeks?
6 weeks since the drama started.
7 weeks.
Yeah.
That her life took a flip upside down.
It took a flip-flop.
That the whale got sick. She didn't think she would be here, but we are learning a lot of interesting things about you. That's good, because probably this would have never even come. We wouldn't even be having this conversation, I don't think, if that wouldn't happen.
That's true.
If we wouldn't have went on this healing journey, I wouldn't even be asking you these questions. I wouldn't even be inquiring about your life. I would have thought I knew everything about you already.
Yeah.
But I'm learning so much about you. And so much about you. And the more I learn about you, the more I learn about me. And the more that I can teach your grandkids and my kids and your great-grandkids.
Right.
And that we have this video that they're going to always be able to come on YouTube and say, let me see what my grandma used to do. My great-great-great-great-great-great-great-grandma. We got footage in the flesh. They're going to be like, that's my lineage. I love that so much. I encourage each and every one of you to do the same. You can take these same questions I'm asking my mom and ask your family, if you still have your mom, that you go ahead and do that. And even if you don't have your mom, talk to your kids about you so that they can have it. Like, tell them you want to sit down and have these conversations so that they can have this for their kids and your grandkids. So, I'm sorry if you don't have your parents, but you still are a part of the lineage, so we can keep it going.
And shout out to your brother, Elder John Woods.
Okay.
Y'all can check him out on TikTok.
Okay. Look at her giving you a plug.
Elder John Woods, check him out on TikTok. That's my oldest son. And I love him. I love you dearly, Jeffrey.
Hey, Jeffrey, you're going to have to bring her on your show
Yeah, that's true.
and ask her some questions. Let's see how that goes.
Uh-oh, sound like the spoiled daughter over here.
Let's see what answers she got for you. See what we can learn from your point of view. That would be really cool.
Yes.
That would be really cool. What did he say?
He said something?
I thought so. I thought he said
yeah.
something else. You two have a loving relationship, and it's nice to see you two sharing your stories. Thank you so much. Yes, beautiful keepsake videos. I'm honored. I love you.
I love
Mama.
you too.
I do. Thank you so much for sharing. This is great, y'all.
We still got plenty more to go.
Yeah, we do. I want to hear some more about that Black Panther Day. I want to hear about that Black
the
Power,
Black
because your life literally, you remember that moment so clearly.
That's the day my life changed.
That's the day you became free.
Yeah, that's the day I became free.
You wasn't saved in the church. You was saved in your executive position office with that phone call.
With
That's
that
when
phone
God.
call
That's
said-
when you heard God declare it.
Yeah, that's when he said, Jesus told the disciples, grab your nets and follow me.
That's when you
And
got
when
your call.
That's when I got my call. And ever since then, my life has been nothing but positive, meaningful, just everything that I can do for everybody and anybody, I'm going to do it.
Love that.
To make you help yourself, not just give you the hand out, to give you a hand up.
Okay. What's the best that can happen?
That's the best that can
I
happen.
love that. All right, guys, that was episode 7. Make sure you go back to 76 lessons. Just click the profile and you'll see a folder, a podcast that says 76 lessons. You can go back to episode 1 and hear what actually happened. It was drama. Drama for your mama.
Drama for her mama.
Okay, drama from my mama.
Yes,
okay.
it was.
And I don't like it.
And then it's not drama for your mama, but all of the comments that we got. And it's for a lot of other mamas out here that went through the same drama that I've been through.
Yeah.
So I'm not alone.
We're healing together.
We're healing together.
And that's
and
the
those of
beautiful
you
part.
out there that are healing, y'all gonna be all right.
Yeah.
And some of you are all right because you've already told me that you've healed and that I'm gonna heal. So I appreciate that very much.
All right, guys. All right, we'll see you on the next episode. Peace and blessings.
Remember, what's the best that can happen?
Yeah.